Agatha and Sophie live in a quaint little village surrounded by a dark and dangerous wood. Every 4 years, 2 children, one good and one evil, are taken, never to be seen again. The only clue is when they appear in the fairy tales mysteriously delivered every year to the local bookstore. Among the children, Agatha and Sophie stand out. Agatha professes not to believe, though she has no other explanation. She wears black smocks and clomped shoes and lives in a graveyard with a mother who is considered by most to be a witch. Sophie is desperate to be chosen. She wears pink dresses and glass slippers and spends hours on her personal care. She does good deeds, or at least deeds that seem good in her mind, one of which is befriending the friendless Agatha. On the appointed night, they are indeed chosen, sort of, only to find themselves delivered to the wrong schools. Agatha finds herself in the school for good, surrounded by prim and proper princesses, while Sophie finds herself in the school for evil, surrounded by witches and murderers. Neither girl is happy. When they are told they cannot switch schools, they set out to return home. But Sophie does not want to go home. She wants to be a princess. For everything the land of stories did wrong, the school for good and evil does right. The conflict feels as if it has weight and has consequences that carry forward as the story progresses. Agatha and Sophie traverse the convoluted waters of growing up and trying to hold on to their friendship as they change as people. The setup is a little predictable, admittedly. Agatha is not beautiful, with black hair and bug eyes. Everyone assumes her to be a witch, even in her home village where witches are only found in fairy tales. Sophie is beautiful, with blonde hair and glass slippers. Her greatest desire is to be a princess. She believes it is her destiny to marry a prince and become a queen, and not just any prince. She has her eyes set on Tedros, son of Arthur, Prince of Camelot. The world works on fairy tale logic, with people who are born to be good evers or evil nevers, destined bonds between princess and prince, and a guaranteed conflict with evil forces. Culturally, we always perceive fairy tales as a struggle between good and evil, in which good is the underdog and yet always overcomes evil in the end. So the fact that something is rotten in Denmark does not occur to the reader, nor Agatha or Sophie, who also grew up in a world where good always wins. The School for Good and Evil uses fairy tales as a background for the world. All fairy tales are written by the Storian, a magic pen guarded by the schoolmaster. The only way to meet your destiny in this world is to have your story written, or be part of someone else's. And this leads to the underlying horror in this world. Not everyone who arrives at the school leaves in the same form. The bottom half of the class from both schools become mogrified, slowly transforming into animals or even plants who are destined to be helpful companions to princesses or minions to evil overlords. It really puts a new spin on Snow White's animal friends to know they were once princes and princesses with dreams of their own, but forever stuck as a deer or a cute bunny, reduced to a footnote in someone else's destiny, never to see their home or loved ones again. And if you fail entirely, your fate is even worse. At one point, Agatha learns she has a powerful gift, the ability to hear the deepest desires of others and grant their wish. She learns this when she accidentally transforms a wish fish whose only purpose is to illustrate someone's wish, back into a princess. This creates a stampede of animals all wanting to be human again, and not just the good animals either. The solution, ultimately, was a mass memory wipe, making the former humans happy to be animals again. There is also an issue of how much control the characters have over their own destiny. We learn in the course of the story that there were once 2 schoolmasters, twins, one good and one evil. After years of harmony, they went to war, with only one emerging alive. That was 100 years ago, and ever since, the Storian has only written stories where good wins and evil dies, often in horrible ways. This has led many to believe the remaining schoolmaster is the good brother, and is forcing the Storian to write the stories he wants. The net result is a sharp decline in both schools. The School for Evil feels the deck is stacked against them, while the School for Good has grown complacent, assured of victory without even trying. I'm not sure the truth is any more sinister. In a twist, it is the evil brother who won, and in order to set balance to the world, he wants to prove evil is capable of true love, and for that he needs a bride. Preferably the most powerful and evil witch in the world, Sophie. But Sophie wants to be good, even if she has to take the long way around and twist the rules to get there. Sophie's journey from good to bad and back again are symbolized by her shoes. Agatha wears klomps. They aren't stylish, but they are practical. She wears them all the time, and they never change. Even at her most dressed up and princess-like, she still wears them. Sophie wears glass slippers. At first, when she wants to be good and become a princess, they are simple. When she does her first act of real evil, she breaks a heel. When she embraces her evil and succumbs to her darker impulses, she remakes the heels to be far less innocent. And when she returns to trying to be good, they once more become delicate and princess-like. Agatha is good, and no matter how her appearance changes or what she wears, the person she is remains the same. She sees the good in Sophie and the other Nevers even when they can't see it in themselves. Sophie's goodness is much more fluid. She can be good, but she is selfish. She's good because she thinks it will get her what she wants, and when that fails, she's perfectly willing to be bad. When she fails to win Tedros's heart by being good, she tries to force his hand through deceit, and when that fails, she redefines what it means to be good. There is also a lot in the story about appearance. Sophie's changes are the most dramatic and upfront, going from beautiful young girl to warty hag and back. But Agatha changes as well, in much more subtle ways. Usually this would involve Agatha having a makeover and realizing she was beautiful all along if she just put on a little makeup. Instead, after coming to the realization that she was never going to get a date to the ball and thus fail out of school for good, she makes a wish to the fairy godmother to be beautiful. After her wand fails to grant the wish, Agatha is swept off to the groom room. When she wakes, she's sitting in a pile of freshly cut blonde hair, and all the mirrors have been removed. Feeling assured she is beautiful for the first time, she rushes through the school to find a mirror, smiling at everyone she sees. They gape in return, which only boosts her joy. Even Tedros stops and stares. But when she finds a mirror, she has a moment of horror to discover she doesn't look any different, with the same short-cropped black hair and bug eyes. Then she looks in the mirror and smiles, really smiles, for the first time, and discovers that the beauty did not come from a makeover, but from just being happy with herself. Agatha did not become pretty because she smiled. She became pretty because she was happy. This is a wonderful message in a book aimed at young women. We have so much thrown at us about how we should present ourselves, and what we should wear, and how much makeup, if any, we should put on. Being told you should love yourself for who you are is incredibly important, especially at a formative age. This book goes on my top shelf. Not only is it adorable, it has great messages about growing up, friendship, and being yourself. Thank you for your time. I know everyone's mileage will vary, so feel free to leave your thoughts.